This is big. NHL insider Elliotte Friedman has dropped a major Calgary Flames report with a new deal for Craig Conroy on the horizon. This report comes at a funny time with fans of the team livid with the owners after a trainwreck PR stunt. So is this just another piece to their puzzle to keep the peace and their jobs? We're going to get into all that more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving on your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And actually, believe it or not, YouTube's telling me that only around, less than 40% of the people watching are subscribed. So if you could do me that favor, hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot. And again, we would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. But let's get into last night's game before we get into this little Elliotte Friedman report on Craig Conroy, of course. And last night's game, look, for people who are on board with Mission McKenna, this was, just perfect. For people who want their team to win, want to see the Flames win, this was not perfect in any sense, as the Flames kind of got whooped in Tampa last night. And yes, we still hate Tampa from 2004, and we hated them again last night. But again, if you're on Mission McKenna, you loved it. And speaking of Mission McKenna, it certainly seems like Dustin Wolf understands the mission. I think Dustin Wolf wants to play with Gavin McKenna very badly, or at least wants a very high draft pick, as he gives up 3 goals on 4 shots, makes 1 save in this game in his start. The 36 goals against average. No, that's not a typo. That is 36. The 250 save percentage obviously pulled after giving up the 3rd goal there. So brutal statistically for Wolf. Was it, a bad break? You could argue so. Was it, not his best performance? Well, absolutely, it wasn't his best performance. Can you fault him completely? Maybe not. Maybe the team in front of him wasn't fantastic, but still, that stat line is absolutely awful. But like I said, hey, the goalies understand the mission. Cooley then ended up giving up a goal right away after that. But as the Flames fell down 4-0 early, but Cooley gives up 2 goals on 19 shots. So still statistically not the best game, but a lot better than Wolf did. But obviously the Flames giving up 5 goals, not good enough for their 1 goal, where they did get on the score sheet. Joel Farabee, a Joel as in Joal, and then John Beecher getting an assist, and Yan Kuznetsov. So, the usual suspects here. Farabee, Beecher, and Kuznetsov. Beecher combining on this one, and Kuznetsov getting an assist. But I think statistically as well, I don't have a graphic of it, but the outlier for this was Rasmus Andersson was a -4. He kind of played like how he was last year. Statistically, a lot of people are saying it just doesn't seem like he wants to be here. That's why he played so bad. I don't think that's all that fair to say. Kevin Ball was top 10 in the NHL and plus minus, fell down a little bit after last night's game. But hey, again, if you're Mission McKenna, if your team tank, last night was perfect in a lot of ways. But yeah, that was our result against Tampa, of course. Now, let's get into this major Conny report, because this is what we care about a lot. And again, it comes at a funny time. So, Elliotte Friedman wrote that hearing tonight that the Calgary Flames and general manager Craig Conroy are making progress on a contract extension. Been a lot of conversation about this locally the last few days. Not sure when it'll be finalized, but we are headed to that conclusion. And, at Fiery Breadman, just like a lot of other Flames fans are thinking, fire Maloney, also LOL, the timing. A huge part of what's been going on right now is the fans saying, why hasn't Conroy been given a contract extension already? Probably because ownership, whether you're looking at Maloney, you're looking at Edwards, you're looking elsewhere, you're saying they don't want to give Conroy one because he wants to rebuild. He wants to do what is best for this team, even if in the short term it hurts both their performance and the revenue, and in the long term helps win a Stanley Cup, of course, and the revenue will come with that, of course, with a new arena. Ownership cares more about money and, making sure that they can afford, well, they can obviously afford, making sure there's enough money for the new arena and, just for them to keep getting more and more money in their pockets. The rich get richer. So it is funny that this has come at this time. And one way that we can look at it is, Craig, I love this photo of Craig and all of these photos from Andrew Ferentz's digital camera from back in 2004 when they were addicted to, I think was it Age of Empire? I think they were addicted to. Either way, it was a video game that was a little bit ahead of my time, or before my time, I should say. But Craig, we're in good hands. Look, this man knows what he's doing, as is clear here. Why isn't he the one who's been doing the talking? And there was an interesting post on the Flames Reddit. It comes from MB Control with a K. They wrote quite a lengthy post here, and I am going to read it. I'm obviously not going to read the replies because it would honestly take quite a long time. But I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree with this person What do you think of the Craig Conroy contract situation and kind of the ownership in general? So let's get into it. This user said, after a week or so since the two worrisome Don Maloney interviews, I was preparing to post my opinions on what I felt about the comments and the sport-wide head shaking that occurred from podcasters, insiders, and fans alike. I wanted to address the apparent disconnect of the executive group and general gaslighting of the fans and what I feel is the consensus opinion of everyone but the Flames executive and ownership group. Been the talk of the town over the past couple weeks now. One of my first points was going to be the contract status, Craig Conroy, and that it would be one of the first steps the CSEC need to take to secure the public trust in the direction of the Flames. Also, the appearance of sheltering him, obviously a very well-spoken, well-liked, and charismatic figure, in favor of Don Maloney, someone who should not be described as media savvy. Why was Conroy being denied talking to the media? It's interesting. Then, while about to post that thread while watching the Flames Lightning game last night, I hear Eric Francis speaking about Craig Conroy, and my focus changed instantly. That's what we're saying. It's funny timing. Asked about the contract, Francis replied, "It's been my belief that Craig Conroy has been inked to a 2-year extension." Already inked. Why hasn't it been announced? I think that's been something that's been agreed upon several weeks ago. It's tricky given the way the team started this year when to announce something like that. It's kind of hard to say. We've got our new general manager. He's going to be here another couple of years, and the team's not doing that well. Kind of, you could argue a little backwards in a way. You'd feel like no matter what, it's not a bad time to announce it. But either way, this is both wonderful and terrifying, mostly terrifying. First, congratulations, Craig. True. This is what we want, or this is what fans want. You've been building this team through skilled youth since you got the GM job, and that is what we want. With that said, the way this was revealed has me very concerned about how the ownership and executives see us as fans and understand what is important for this team going forward. Do these people not understand that we know this team has to be bad for a little while in order to become future contenders? Do they not know that Calgary fans are aware enough to know this? Do they think we blame Craig Conroy for a middling to bad team who has missed the playoffs 11 times since 2008 and only made the second round twice? No, we do not blame Craig for that at all. It is interesting that the ownership, let's be honest, they view the fans as dollar signs, nothing more. Honestly, they couldn't care less if Calgary as a city wins the cup. They want the Flames to win a cup, but if we start, boycotting the games or not going and they aren't getting any revenue, what do? They say, you know what? We don't care about the new arena anymore. We're actually going to move the team. And it's so backwards. And of course, I'm getting ahead of myself here, as I tend to do. But either way, it is interesting overall. Now, if this contract has been a done deal for multiple weeks, it should have been shouted by the rooftops, showing vision and commitment for the future, especially directly after Maloney spread panic throughout the entire fan base with his myopic statements last week. True. It still hasn't even been officially announced, so we can't even say that it is officially announced. I was willing to expect that perhaps Maloney's statements could be marked down to media ineptness, insider politics, or a poor attempt at not tainting the trade values of some of the players. I don't believe that anymore. I think CSEC execs simply have no idea about their fan base or how that the modern day NHL works in terms of how to build a contender. Again, do they care about the hockey the most? No, the money. I think the reason so many of us have been so stunned and offended by the recent discourse is that it all kind of came out of nowhere. Most thought things were all falling into place. 3 strong years of drafts, lots of cap space, high-tier trade assets, lots of draft picks, a very strong draft year coming up, and a team that's not winning much. Not to mention a new rink that fits the window of an up-and-coming young team. It's such a tap-in. I think we were all caught very off guard. I have no solution. No, on the other hand, I'm just really disappointed and would like to hear what you think. And like I said, there were a lot of replies to that, and this was an interesting post. Obviously a bit of a longer one, but it overall does show why is ownership being so weird lately. We really need to get to the bottom of all of this, whether that's in the form of, ownership comes out and says what they need to say in the way they want to say it, or make some sort of commitment to the hockey more than the money. It's just interesting, and obviously not almost blacklisting Craig Conroy at this point. I'd love to hear from Craig, and I know all of you guys agree as well. We need Craig to kind of speak out about what's going on here, and we need the extension to be made official if it has actually happened. I know the source here is Eric Francis mostly, and then Elliotte Friedman, so it's difficult. Those EF initialed Sportsnet guys, can you always trust them? I'm not too sure, but either way, Let me know what you think about the whole situation. It is strange, but apparently a deal is in place that Conroy will be extended. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Of course, I'll keep you updated if there is an update. Now, let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. It comes from yesterday's video, of course, and this one comes from Robert. Robert says, the Flames will trade Rasmus Andersson to Dallas. The Flames like Leon Bichelle, left-handed defenseman, 21 years old, 6'6", stay-at-home guy. Maverick Bork, a center, right-handed, 22 years old as well. This is a good trade for both teams. I'd take that in a heartbeat if I am the Calgary Flames. If I'm the Dallas Stars, I'd probably ask for a little bit more from Calgary, but either way, Andersson trade rumors will always persist until there actually is a trade or obviously a contract extension. So we'll just, of course, have to wait and see there. But Rasmus Andersson spoke out yesterday about how he feels about that. So feel free to check out yesterday's video if you missed it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.